All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you all become better traders. Today's video, we're going to be discussing the CPI print. We'll talk a little bit about FTX and a few other things. We have the CPI number incoming at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The forecast is for 8%. That is 0.2% lower than last month. One of the Feds, I think it's Georgia, has this coming in at 8.2%. So anything higher than 8% is probably going to be looked at with bearishness. So basically what we have here is Bitcoin is trading up off the lows of day. Naturally, everybody knows that Bitcoin has broken under $17,000 due to the exchange collapsing FTX, the second largest exchange in the world. This is also going to cause more selling pressure if they do indeed file bankruptcy. The reason for this is because there's a lot of big companies that have invested billions with FTX. So, I mean, this could be the domino that sends a lot of these things tumbling much, much cheaper. And we will be there to buy it because once all the dust clears, we'll be there to buy it. The bear markets are always going to weed out the weak. You know what I mean? The weak companies out there, bear markets are always going to take care of those. So this is just what we need to clean out all the garbage. Unfortunately, I do understand that, Bitcoin losing prices, going lower and lower and lower absolutely helps or hurts some people, right? So it's not good for my overall portfolio either. I'm not even going to sit here and act like, everything's all rainbows and sunshine, because it is not. All right, it is not. We understand what's going on here, and I'm going to do my best to teach you guys how to make money in scenarios like this. So what we want to see on CPI is something lower than 8%, as that could be bullish for risk markets. Naturally, I do not have to tell you that Bitcoin and the SPY are not correlated for the last few days. All right. You can see that Bitcoin has been tumbling down for the last 4 days, whereas the only bearish day we've had in the same period of time was yesterday on the SPY. And if you followed me Tuesday, if you watched the stream Tuesday morning, we took a successful day trade on the SPX, and then we got stopped out after booking profits. But then I told you to watch 385, as that was your top range of the market's move priced in by the option market. So if it was going to roll over, I would expect it to do so. Then you can see here that the high of this candle was exactly $385, right where I told you to look to put in some sells. If you've done that, you're up nicely today. Pre-market, you got the SPY trading up at 375, spot 65. Like I said, where it goes from here will most likely be determined by the CPI. The FOMC news that we got last Wednesday was bearish. Basically, Mr. Powell said that he's going to continue to hike rates. They have plenty of room to go. They're looking at jobs numbers and a few other things. As long as the jobs number is under 4-point-something%, he's going to keep the pedal to the metal. Even if they do slow the rate at which they hike, instead of hiking 75 basis points each time, even if they drop to 50 or 25, that does not mean anything should be bullish, as it's still a hawkish Fed. The pivot would be when they changed from being hawkish to dovish, which they are probably not going to do that until 2024. And there is another big event in 2024 called the halving. So, yeah, that's when we can look to be buyers on Bitcoin again. As of now, we've been shorting it. So, yeah. We were looking to short it Sunday because we thought that this would be a down week. Same scenario for the S&P 500. We thought this was going to be a down week for it as well. as of right now, I mean, that is a massive down week. I had no expectations of seeing a weekly candle of this proportion. All right. I am in it at the supply. That is where I took the short trade when all hell broke loose. We had a down day of almost 6% on Bitcoin. And it was on this day right here. This thing traded all the way back up to weekly supply as well as the open. And that was after the stream, after Tuesday's stream, all of this volatility kicked off. That price right there, $20,629 is my short entry. All right. We discussed this in depth yesterday during the Discord members only live stream. We talked about it in depth, so there's pretty much no reason to go into it here. But you can see there is the short entry. I took profits multiple times on this position, so now it's just a small little piece that is still left on for any downside continuation. I would be looking to potentially re-enter on this newsprint if indeed we can get above yesterday's high. So if we get above yesterday's high, we could potentially look for a short entry there. Excuse me. Let me get my exchange over here pulled up. We use Bitget. It doesn't really sound like a fair thing to do right now with all the havoc going on inside of the world, but I still have to. That is the deal. We use Bitget over here. They have not closed their doors yet. They are still operating. We were able to execute trades on this big volatile day. As I said earlier, I am short. I will bring that over here just to verify, just to validate. So that way you're not thinking that I'm lying to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This was that big volatile candle. You can see that blue right there. That is the unrealized P&L that is still left on the short position. Right here, this is live funds, ladies and gentlemen, is the real realized P&L. So that's how much I've already made on the trade. This is what is still left to be made potentially if we get a move up or down. However, I'm not going to be taking the short trade on that, as that is just a small account. I will be doing it on my main account, and that is also on Bitget. If you want to trade Bitget, there is a link in the description. Please use referral code XTSC. That is X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie. Now that we've got the shilling out of the way, let's go over here and talk about Bitcoin. All right, and only if you do use the link first and foremost and the code, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really and truly do. I appreciate every single one of you. I just want to say that if you do that, please only use an amount of money that you do not care to lose. If you have a $100,000 wad of cash that you want to invest and trade, I advise you to only put like $1,000 or so on exchange, because Bitget offers 125x leverage. Now, typically I don't say to use that much leverage, but what I'm trying to say is with that kind of leverage, you do not need all of your money on exchange in order to make a decent amount of money week to week, because with that leverage, you can risk all of that $1,000. You see what I'm saying? And if you lose that $1,000, if you blow that account, you still have 99% of your overall capital left. You're still holding it. You still have it. So just put an amount of tradable money on exchange, enough money to make you happy, as far as if you're looking for a specific amount of money to make every single day or something like that. All right. Right there, you can see that we are trading up and around the high of day. We've got 4 minutes on the news. So basically, down here is the low of day. We pull this up. There are going to be people trying to catch this dead cat bounce. So as long as that's happening, and I think somewhere I read yesterday that they still have over 5,000 Bitcoins to liquidate. That could cause more selling pressure. So we have to take it with a grain of salt. But I think as of right now, the pressure is still severely down. There's been a lot of market, a lot of liquidations, a lot of a lot of margin calls. My mouth kept wanting to say market calls. Margin calls due to this massive move to the downside. Like I said, you have liquidated June's low. So you are in price discovery. This line down here is potentially how far it could go down, right? So if you're not prepared to see $13,000 or $14,000 Bitcoin, you should probably do so soon. You might get a couple days worth of bullishness, and if you do, then you could think about it. But I just don't believe the selling is over. I would love for the selling to be over because I am net long Bitcoin. I trade on the inverse swap contract. So how I do it is I have Bitcoin already purchased on a cold storage wallet off the internet. When I want to trade or if I need to deposit funds, I deposit Bitcoin only. Then I use that Bitcoin to accumulate more Bitcoin. Once I've once I've doubled my account or something like that, I take all the money off except for a small portion. I leave that small portion on to build it back up again. I keep doing this just in case, this FTX scam, which I've been doing this for a long time because I don't trust any crypto exchanges. So it's just the safest way to do it. Your money's safe. I'm still invested in Bitcoin. I'm just invested off the internet. And if I need to deposit funds, which I haven't in a long time, then I would just deposit from cold storage just the amount that I wish to trade with. So that's a good way to do it. It's a good way to manage your risk. All right, so here we are. I don't expect a flash wick down to the low of day. If the number comes in lower, then I would, right? But the number is going to come in and you're already going to see a flash. So whichever direction that goes is where we basically want to look for taking the entry. So if it goes up and liquidates the high of day first, you would be taking a short at around $16,890. If it goes down and liquidates the low, you will be looking for a long at around $15,512. Please do not risk a lot of capital on this trade as it is a very aggressive newsprint and you can lose all of your money. But here we go, 2 minutes. Let me get the SPX back over here. I will read your questions in just a second. Yeah, so I mean, this looks like a sell too. Here we go. All right, so we do have a slight move to the upside here. It looks like you're going up for the liquidation. So we're going to go ahead and get our positions ready here. There is the liquidation. You didn't get a liquidation on Bitget just yet. So you would want to basically sell that. Why does it say that? All right, so I'm having difficulties here. Make sure I'm on market order. I am. All right, Bitcoin is still above. So give it a second. All right, you can take the sell now, and you're just going to want to get your stop above the high of day. But, I mean, as long as it's pushing up like this, it's not going to happen. So the safe way to do this would be to wait for this to get back under the high of day. Then you can risk it against the top there. Let's see. Yeah, so we have lower numbers by 0.3%. This is actually bullish news. So, but like I said, any bullish move on Bitcoin could potentially be looked at a selling event. Doesn't appear like that's going to be the case today. Look at the SPY. You have engulfed yesterday's range. So the sell was a buy and it did not provide, or the trade was a buy. It did not provide one. It did not liquidate the low of day. It just went from there. So in this case, you would have been okay looking to just buy support. But that is a bullish print. very bullish. You have a potential supply zone up above you here. All right, so 6.3, this is even lower as well. So that's two things that are bullish, right? I don't know why this says, why it's red. It should be, this is a beat. This is considered a beat, as the Fed is looking for lower inflation, not higher. So here we go. You can see here, now you're seeing some selling come back into Bitcoin. Just because of that wick. There is no levels down here for me to give you. The only level to watch would be to yesterday's open. Yesterday's open, as that would be old support. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to short off of wicks. Wicks are usually targets. So we do, like I said, on an intraday basis, we do have a supply zone right there. So you could potentially look for an entry up there if you indeed are short. Like I said, this is bullish news, very bullish news. So really nothing to do right now, unfortunately. I thought for sure you would see a wick down, but you just didn't get it. You didn't even get a big wick on the spoos. Look at, well, to be fair, you did get a wick below there. So the spoos did liquidate today's low right there. That's what I wanted to see on Bitcoin in order to take the long trade. This also means that if you did take the short trade the other day on SPY, you're probably going to wake up today when the market opens to not good stuff. But still, 385 is the top of the expected move. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Give me 1 second here. We still have the open, so we could potentially position ourselves then. Potentially. All right, so let's go to SPY. And let's pull up the trade tab, all products. So the 11th is Friday. So it just takes that number right there. The options market was pricing in a plus or minus $14 move. Plus or minus. You can see pre-market there. Nice, big, strong push higher. We got the SPY right down here. Let's go maximize the sell and pull it up. So yesterday, there you go, 385.23. This is the options market weekly priced in move, right? This is the range the option market is pricing in for this week. You can see in bear markets, it's very volatile. You do get breakouts above these levels in bear markets. So that just means that the volatility is a lot higher than in bull markets. So you see there, you do occasionally break down, but there 385 is the number. So I mean, that's that, right? That's where you would expect the top of the range to be. But this is really good news. What am I looking for? Charts. This is really good news. You can see that you just liquidated yesterday's high with that read. Yesterday's high is right there. You're above it, well above it. So if it's going to be a short, it might do it now. But it's Thursday, and that's bullish news. I can't say that enough. That is bullish news. Bullish. All right, so while we're just sitting here waiting a little bit, there was a tag of that supply level right there. So if you're looking for short trades, maybe there would be the only place to do it. A very bullish news here. This was the high of the week. So you are currently trading above the high of week. You are currently breaking out. So let's watch and see if Bitcoin is unable to close this hourly candle above supply. If so, then maybe we could look for that reverse move, but I'm not looking for that to happen. This is bullish news. You've just taken out the low of week on the DXY. Remember, trending environments tend to continue. So by looking for the liquidation break trade, we only want to do that on high risk news events like today, because we do know that they use the news to liquidate people. If you wanted to short Bitcoin, that's the place to do it. Above the high of day, you're still very bullish on the day. You're up 8.23% on the day. Up 8% on the day. And same goes for Ethereum. All right, so we might not get a trade entry. Sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes we don't get to take a trade because our plan doesn't play out. The markets are random. But we'll see how it trades out, how it plays out here on this. Good morning. A lot of good mornings. Good morning, everybody. Someone stuck their chip in the dip twice and ruined the dip for all of us. Yep, them double dipping bastards. I mean, I don't understand how these guys can make such insane amounts of money so quickly and lose it all. I heard something yesterday or this morning on Bloomberg Crypto. They said that according to their statistics, that is the fastest and largest drop for someone's net worth of all time. So basically, the exact quote was SBF, which is Sam Bankman-Fried, is the guy that owns FTX, lost 94% of his net worth in the quickest amount of time ever. So just because you're rich today doesn't mean you're going to be rich tomorrow in the crypto world. A lot of people are speculating that he was short $8 billion. The dollar, we're short the dollar now. So Sam Bankman-Fried should have probably been watching Trade Talk before he decided to take that short position, because we were bullish on the dollar up until this day here. This is when we deployed short positions on the dollar. It wasn't because of this trend line. It was because of the previous week's high getting liquidated. And that trade has worked out. This looked like it was going to end up making a fresh high, but it didn't. It traded right up to a weekly res and rolled right back over. So good stuff there. Good stuff there. Well, it didn't quite make it to weekly res, right? An old weekly resistance level right there is where she rolled back over. So we like to see that nice big move down today. This is your low of week currently. You are currently trading under the low of week. That is not really a liquidation move, right? I have seen liquidations take multiple hours to take place, but like I said, that is bullish. That is bullish. 8% is what was expected. 7.7 is actual. So that is great news for inflation, right? It is starting to go lower. Yay. That is the unemployment rate. No. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So we got a 7.7 read. So it's still just 0.3%, but The last several months have only been like 0.1% move. The 770 is good. Still very, very high, but that's the last 4 months have been lower. 9.1 was the top. You made 8.5, which is, 0.6% lower. Then you got 8.3, 8.2. So they were expecting 8.2 again. Daily effects forecast was 8. And we actually got 7.7, which is nice. That's very good. Very good. Very good for inflation. So I don't expect this short is the play. Like I said, we positioned ourselves bearish the dollar weeks ago in anticipation of this. Right? All right, so let's get this back over here on Ethereum. We can get off the month, though. Yeah, Ethereum's trading up to this. Let's go. See, you're back above the old weekly high. This could be a breakout. You don't want to short a very bullish market. It does not look like it's going to be a liquidation only day. In fact, a pullback is probably what we should be looking for on Bitcoin. Here we got the old level of resistance here. So if we could get a pullback potentially to there, we could watch the 5-minute chart. And as long as we're not closing any 5-minute candles under, we could take the bullish trade on Bitcoin. If you're bearish, you're looking for entries as close to 17,564 as you can get. But please understand that this is bullish news. Bitcoin has not been correlated with risk this week based solely on the fundamental backdrop of an exchange filing bankruptcy or getting close to filing bankruptcy. That is bearish news for the crypto market. The crypto markets are the most risky of all risk assets. But this should be decent bullish news. We should see this drive the rest of November's price action. So even if we don't get an entry today, we will have an opportunity tomorrow and all of next week to do that. All right. That was October's high. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I like to see this because I am short USD JPY. I couldn't take a short on the DXY because I don't have a brokerage or an exchange account that would allow me to take positions on that asset. So I had to position myself on the USD JPY for that short. Why the USD JPY? It's simple. It was getting killed. It was absolutely getting wrecked. Nice move here. Oh, damn it. You know what? I forgot about our trade on the pound. Shit. It's over with. The short is done. I was looking to short this today, but I was watching resistance, so I probably wouldn't have been able to take that short way up there. But still, nonetheless, I mean, I'm short this asset from the very top tick. And that is a freaking beautiful candle for me. Beautiful. Beautiful tick. We took this trade live also. We got short up there. It wasn't a public stream, unfortunately. But we were live when we took it. Right up there is where we're short. We were looking to get short the dollar based on, lowering inflation numbers. And also we were looking to get short on the USDJPY because there were rumors that the BOJ was going to intervene on its currency because it was taking a massive dump. So they were looking to sell the dollar to buy back their stuff to try to put a support under the market. And when we got this blow off move here, I felt as if though, it would have ultimately end up rolling back over, because once you get the blow off, other investors will attack this, right? Because they're in it like I'm in it, to make money. And that seems to be working out. So bravo there to anybody who's short USDJPY. It did give you a flawless entry on weekly res not too long ago. I will show it to you. You had multiple weeks of opportunities to short this asset at 148.758. If you go into the hourly time frame, you're going to see right there was a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to take the short trade. You knew my overall bias was bearish on this asset. And here we go. Yeah, all the BTF deers right now getting pummeled. The reason you're seeing a little bit of craziness here is because the pound is probably cooking with grease to the upside based solely on dollar weakness. There you go. Cooking with grease to the upside. Sounds like the Jefferson song. To the upside. Yeah, that thing is cooking, man. It is moving. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Boom shakalaka, says John. Boom, my friend. Like, subscribe, share. Yes, if you guys don't mind, I really appreciate that. But you guys know the drill by now, as every YouTuber on earth begs you to do that. The algorithm it's based off of watch time. I don't think likes and stuff like that don't matter. Shares do matter more than likes, but it's on watch time. They distribute the video based on watch time. So not planning to spot buy 13.8K. Yes, I am. If Bitcoin gets down to $13,800, I will buy hand over fist down there. For sure, my friend. For sure. Remember, the reason I trade Bitcoin the way I do is so I can accumulate more of it. I use my FX and stock accounts to pay my bills. I don't buy Bitcoin. I trade Bitcoin. I make more Bitcoin by trading Bitcoin with Bitcoin. It's a fantastic asset class. The inverse swap contract is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So yeah, I am as long as you can get on Bitcoin long term, right? Even if I take a short trade on exchange, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that I've sold all my Bitcoins. No, that's not how it works. By getting short on the inverse swap contract, it's essentially the same trade as me buying long spot and selling put options. It's the same exact trade. It is as long as you can get overall. My cost basis is very low on it. It does screw it up every time I deposit more Bitcoin on the cold storage wallet, but at the same time, I just want to own as much of it as I can get. And while we're trading under 20 G's, yeah, I want a lot of it. A lot of it, as much as I can get. And if it were to get to 13.8, I would be buying it as well, right? Shorting it on the way down, but also buying more if it got down there. Yeah, that's the place to be a buyer. There's nothing that says that it has to roll over there. Let me pull it up here. Let me see if I can do this for you. There's nothing that says that it has to get down there. This is the price right there. It's just monthly, quarterly, and yearly resistance, and it proved itself as such right there. As you can see, there it is. And then when we traded back up to it right there, that was a short opportunity to take, and it did play out good, because after you did that, you also got the March 2020 pandemic. So it was a phenomenal short trade. It's almost over a 50% gain there to the downside. So we haven't retested it since the breakout, right? There's the breakout right there. You did not come back in for a retest on the next month. So that looks like a phenomenal place to be a buyer if it gets down there. That's the thing. If you look at current market structure, you have liquidated the lowest low in this sequence of price. So you made what? Fresh 2-year lows. Not quite 2 years, because that's December. This is November. Well, yeah, 2-year lows. You've made fresh 2-year lows. So you would have to get all the way down to here to liquidate this month. So more or less, instead of just waiting for Bitcoin to get there and then buying it on the fall, you wait. You wait for the liquidation of that low, and then you wait for price to get back up. Once it gets back up, then you can be a buyer and start adding to your Bitcoin portfolio. It does not look like Bitcoin's going to pull back into the price we want to buy it at today. Maybe it does at 9:30. Maybe around 9:30 we get to pull back here. But I do believe, as long as you're not closing 5-minute candles under this point right here, you could be a buyer. And that's just, intraday resistance there. We'll use this one because it is the highest one, right? But yeah, anywhere in this area, and that low right there, it comes in at $13,215. So that's where I would start being a buyer, right there. If it got there, you don't have to, because you have already done the liquidation right there. So that's good enough. That's 2 years. If price, wherever this month closes, like for instance, if this monthly closes back above this price of 17,567, you could probably watch that area to be support moving forward. So you're not going to catch the exact low, but you can get pretty damn close to it, right? And that's all that matters. I didn't catch the exact high on this part, right? But that's when I took the trade. So in a sense, this is what I didn't get, but oh well, look at what I have got from there to there. You don't need to catch the exact low. You just need to get close to it. And if Bitcoin does continue to fall and it does get down here, everybody else is going to be looking for much lower prices. I think people will be looking for that $9,000 gap to be filled, that $115 wide gap on the CME to be filled, whereas we will be looking to be buyers then. And it will take months and months and months for Twitter to catch up. They will still be bears, and we will be buying. But you don't have to get there, because like I said, you have already liquidated 2 years worth of lows. In order to make a new liquidation, you would absolutely have to get down there. So if you close the month above this price, then, around December and January, we can look for the low to come in, and then we could be a buyer. Bitcoin's still struggling a little bit at supply up here. So this is the price you're looking to be a seller. An hourly close above 17,564 would negate that trade. That would be your clue to leave it alone. But a pullback down to here around 930 would be a good opportunity, as long as you're not, closing candles under it. As a close under it also would negate that long. Okay, yeah, read that. Good mornings, good mornings, good mornings. Oh, where was I? Jesus, I hate when the chat does that. There, I found my spot. Fib the move, I think it's into the 618. From what to what? You got to tell me what to what. I can't just put a fib on it. I mean, I can fib this week's move. I can fib today's move. I can fib a lot of shit. You need to tell me what you want me to fib. Right? If we fib this week, up here is the 50% retracement. Right? If we fib yesterday's move, then you're at around the 618. Yeah, the 702 of yesterday's expansion. So that's probably what you're talking about. You're currently trading above supply. Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the short here, you got to wait for it to pull back off the high, so it gives you an area to manage your risk. You got 1 minute on this close. 1 minute on the hourly close. A close above supply would negate the short, in my opinion. I can make the argument for taking a short entry here. I can, absolutely, because we're looking for this pump to be sold into, right? Because of, FTX. So if you want to short it, if you close under here in a minute, you can mark your risk by the high of day. You're taking it a short, though, on a day that the news was extraordinarily bullish for risk. DXY still pushing, making fresh lows. Each 5-minute candle has closed and made a wick lower. So you've made fresh daily low after fresh daily low after fresh daily low after. You get the drift. You are pushing. You're breaking down. Let's see where it could potentially go. Yeah, I mean, this could mark the low of day for the DXY. Maybe. I expect downside continuation tomorrow on the dollar based on this news. But you did close. Look at how this shit works. You closed right there. Why did you close there? It's supply. So you would want to take the short and mark the high of day as your stop loss, and your take profit would be approximately 16,896. So if you were to take this short trade, it would look like this. Like that. And then your take profit. I would take profit on a 2-to-1 risk reward, but you could get it as low as there. So 16,899. It's a 4-to-1, almost a 4-to-1 risk to reward. So if you like them odds, I think you could get back down there, because this is where, I would be looking to be a buyer. So I think you could see the pullback there. Is it a high probable scenario? No, because that news was bullish. Let's leave that line up there and see what it's doing here. So that is also the June low. All right, that is also the June low right there. So you have an intraday supply and the June low. That is a technical level, and price could ultimately turn around there. I'm not looking for it to do so, but it could. And you just liquidated last month's high on the pound. So if you think the dollar is going to be bullish, then this is where you'd be looking for shorts on the pound. If you think the pound is going to be bearish, that price right there, 16454. So you could take the trade based solely on you think it'll at least bounce off this level for a little bit before buyers come back, right? The pound got sold off, and if we are at an inflection point for the dollar, then you're going to be looking for higher prices on the pound. But that is October's high. You just liquidated it. So if you are going to see lower prices on the pound, there's where I would expect it to happen. So is it worth the risk just to see if the sellers are there? Yeah, it is. For me. It is for me. But I don't have a bearish bias on the pound. But you could get a technical bounce from that level. Good morning. Good morning. Should we long Bitcoin? I think we're going to watch this price if it can get back down here for potential long entries. Yes. But if we start dropping 5-minute closes under it, then the trade will unfortunately have been a short. Nobody knows what price will do. You just have to figure out, do you want to be a buyer or a seller? If you want to be a buyer, yes, lower prices is where you want to buy. If you want to be a seller, higher prices is where you want to sell. Sounds cliched, but it's how this works. Oh, we'll see if we get this 5-minute pullback here into this area. You might not. For all you bears out there. That bottom red line is where I'd be looking for the short entry. Or you could have taken it upon that hourly close, because it did close under that oh so important level. Intraday supply, but the longer term is the June low. Do not take an entry here. That is not how you do this. You do not chase price. You either wait for this entry or you leave it alone. We do not chase price. You could look for the short as low as 17,500. High of day risk, and you would take profits here if it goes lower. So you're coming in to test this candle as supply. You can take the short entry and see if it holds. I don't know that it will. So you would be taking it on your merit, not on mine. High of day on Bitget's exchanges. That's going to put your stop at around $17,894. And I'll get you that exact take profit price on Bitget for the short trade. You're going to take profits at around $17,000. That would give you a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Oh, $17K would be your take profit. The reason you want to take profits there is because you can then move your stop to break even. And at that point, if you get downside continuation, you will be positioned perfectly for it. We look to take profits here because buyers may be sitting right there, right? They may be stepping up here. It's very bullish news. So to be a buyer, you need to wait on a pullback and see how price reacts to this level in here. And even the big fig is 17 G's. But I like this price. I don't think I would take the long betting on 17 grand. I need a technical level to do it. Long Bitcoin off of 16,890, 16,784 on Coinbase's data feed. This white line right here. But you're not going to just buy a test of it. You got to see, does the 5-minute throw a wick through it and close back above it? If you start closing 5-minute candles under it, then you might be trying to buy a still very bearish asset. There is 20 minutes until the open of the New York stock market. If it's going to roll over, you should not see a 5-minute close above 17,509. That should be the ultimate high. I wouldn't even want to see not one close in there. Because if you do get a close in there, then you're going to just see your stop get smoked more than likely. Double dipping bastards. Yes, they are. Picture will hang in the Degen Hall of Fame. Yeah, it will. Yep, sure will. Not this dollar. That's USDT short by Sam. Gotcha, Shelby. Thanks for the clarification. Why would you short a freaking stable coin? That makes no damn sense. I mean, it's I guess if you're betting on Tether to fail, you could take that short, but you're literally betting against something that stays roughly at $1 always. You know what I mean? Like, I can think of better assets to short, like Doge, for instance. It's a worthless crypto coin. So I guess I'm being clarified. He wasn't shorting the US dollar. So that's my bad there. We're just kind of watching to see how price reacts around here because that would be the 5-minute supply. If it's going to roll over today and go lower, or at least roll over to give buyers an opportunity to buy it, because professional traders are not buying it up here. All right? They're just not. If anything, they would be taking profits there. So we'll see how it plays out. Not gotcha, Phoenix team. That is what I'm looking at. Okay. Historically, interest rate needed to be higher than inflation number to bring it down. Maybe the interest rate and inflation will meet around the 6 to 7%. Still way to go with interest rates hikes, probably. Yeah, there is. I mean, the short dollar play isn't out of the woods. I mean, it's not like it's a guaranteed home run at this point, right? It's still very early. Inflation is still very high. So yeah, it doesn't technically mean that we're definitely going to see it roll over. But 3 points lower is a trend. And we've had a lowering trend of inflation for, well, since the 9.1 high was put in. 16,200 to 16,300 is intraday demand. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Just please remember, if you're trying to trade my strategy, you want to look for supply in intraday, supply and demand levels close to daily levels, right? Like closest to like a daily open or a daily close. Right here is your daily open. So yeah, technically that would be a demand zone I would be interested in. But if price gets all the way down there after putting in this big breakout, it's not going to look like a buy. So I think if it does pull back, we can look for the old resistance here, because by price putting in support here, it states that this is the range for the hourlies moving forward. So I think this would be the place to see continuation. So that's what I would do based on the news we just got. Lower inflation. But still, if Sam Bankman-Fried decides to liquidate the rest of his Bitcoin, it doesn't matter about technical levels, and it doesn't matter about what inflation is doing. It will literally put selling pressure into the market, and you will see prices go much lower. Unless there's buyers there soaking up all that liquidity. So I don't know if I'm even going to be able to stay going live. We have a Hurricane Category 1 storm here. It made landfall in my town. So my internet is very shaky today. So I'll go ahead and apologize in advance if I just suddenly drop off. But we were just waiting to watch the CPI numbers anyways, and we got them. So now you know what we're looking for the rest of the day. We want to see Bitcoin pull back to give us an entry. If it doesn't pull back and give us an entry, we're not going to long it up here, right? No, because we're smart. We wait for technical support to get long. Sellers are looking to short it here, and I just don't think that's the trade. I just don't, right? It may end up being the trade. If you can't close a 5-minute candle above the open of this 5-minute candle, then yeah, you could potentially catch the pullback at least. Not looking to short it for downside continuation, just looking for the intraday trade for a pullback to support. And this is the last resistance in today's range. So this is where we think it could pull back to. It doesn't have to pull back. It could just keep going higher and higher and higher. All right. This does not look like a selling candle, does it? No, it doesn't. It looks like a shallow pullback to go long. But I'm not getting long up here. I can't. I need it down here. So I would love to see it come down here. We got 15 minutes until the open. We don't need this one up. Everybody is aware that that level is hourly supply as well as the June low. I want to get the SPX back up over here. Yeah, you've gotten more upside continuation on the SPOOs. So you've already taken out the SPY's high of day, or the SPX's high of day. Well, Bitcoin could likely do the same. It's bullish news. And there's no big news event coming up this rest of the week, so I don't see any event that could potentially fade this. That's really good news. That is 0.5% lower. This is where it was previously. So that is a 0.5% drop in inflation. That's good. If we get another 5 or 0.6% drop next month, that will be better. But this is the biggest drop. From 8.2 to 7.7 is the biggest drop that we've had since this drop, right? So for the last 3 months, it's the biggest drop we've had, which is good. That is good news. What is going on with OBS? You have to look at the momentum here. You came into that support very, very fast. Typically, you don't want to try to step in front of that, as it is a runaway train of momentum. If it was just a slow, methodical push down into support, that's different. So I like I said, I am overall bearish on this. I don't think I'd be a buyer there. I don't think I'd be a seller here. $385 is the range high for the options market. That's where they priced in this week's range as the high, right? Will price treat it as such? Well, we'll see here in 15 minutes-ish. You're already above it. So you liquidated it there, and you've made upside continuation. One could argue that that is the momentum is waning, but still, I expect it to be a buy lower. Let's see here. I don't know that it will be a buy, but I would expect it to be. If it was to get down to there, I think you could see buyers step right back up again. 379.06. You've already, since making the daily high on Bitcoin right there, you've been trading at this area for 20 minutes. If you are short, you definitely want to see this thing start dropping pretty soon, because it's just essentially building in a bull flag here. And people will buy there, just not me. I like the higher time frame levels. And there's not one here. There's not a daily level there. Even if you stretch it all the way out back to the June lows, there's really nothing here. I mean, there's an old daily support down there at 17,145. But that support was taken out here. Oh, wait, no. What am I looking at? That support. That's the lowest daily support right there. You might see sellers come back up there. So they could be targeting this on the buy side. You could see prices test all the way back up to there today. Like I said, I don't like the short. I want it to pull back so I can get long, but at the same time, I just don't think that, the play is a short, not with that good news. That was really good news. Do I think we will see more downside from Kathy? Yeah, if Sam has to liquidate more Bitcoins, if he files bankruptcy, then we gotta, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but I'm sure there will start to be rumors. There's a lot of investigative journalists out there that are right now tearing over other companies' books to break the story of, if FTX files bankruptcy, this company may be the next to fall, and they own $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. So, you see what I'm saying? If they end up filing bankruptcy and it ends up hurting more firms, yes, I think Bitcoin will go lower. As far as a technical reason to be a buyer on Bitcoin, I think you've already done it. Like there is no purpose in my mind for price to reach any lower. Once you've liquidated the June low, you've liquidated pretty much everything all the way down to $13,000. So price on a liquidation standpoint doesn't need to go much lower. But that's just my way of looking and interpreting the markets. That does not mean anything. I think, one could make the case that as long as nobody else gets hurt, no other companies gets hurt, the damage is already done from FTX. So yeah, you could say that you would probably look to start being a buyer. This is June's low. So if you want to wait on a daily pullback into this price, if you set daily support up here, then one could argue that this could be a buying opportunity. But not today, naturally. You need a bearish day to close at or around this level. That would then form a daily support level. Then buyers would step up, I assume. With inflation going lower, that will help risk on assets. Catch a bid. That will also help the dollar come off a little bit. The thing that we need to worry about with Bitcoin is other firms. We don't need to worry about it. We just need to keep it on the back of our minds that if I am buying Bitcoin right here, right now, I do have to keep in mind that the damage may not be done yet. And if you're okay with that risk, then absolutely you want to be a buyer down here, not a seller. The short trade has already played out. People that are looking to get short at $13,000 or at $17,000, it's just because they missed the short at $60,000 and they're chasing price. You are in a buying opportunity on Bitcoin, in my opinion, more so than a selling one, especially from this day moving forward. Because of this liquidation of that June low. So we'll see what goes on. We'll see how the market reacts. It's looking pretty damn bullish today. Like I said, you're up over 8% on Bitcoin right now. You're up 9.7%. That's a big move up. It don't seem like a big move based on the volatility we've seen the last few days, though. Man, oh man. Made a lot of money on this short. But that's a 8%. You're up 8% on the day. This is your daily open. So you made a fresh daily low here. You could have been a buyer there. No, you didn't make a fresh daily low. Apologies. Remember, we don't want to see a 5-minute close above 5-minute supply. If you're short, that's this price. No close above that. A wick is okay. No close. You can see how price is playing with it, right? Very much so, enticing people to come in here and short it. Price is an advertising mechanism. That's what it does. It advertises its possibilities and opportunities. potential opportunities. The S&P 500 is just making high after high, though. Not really a short. You're back to bullish on the month on the SPOOs as well. Yeah, weekly res up here, but I don't expect that to hold. 2 minutes on this close above this price shatters the short. Shatters it. Two minutes on the open. You're probably going to see a swing high test. Here we go. Here we go. I'm scared. Just kidding. Yeah. It's reaching. Let's see where the point of control is. Hey, you don't have nothing up here. So I wouldn't short it, but I've already told you that. I would want to see the point of control migrate to up here before I would look to be a short. I just wanted it to pull back and, bring us a bullish opportunity. It doesn't mean it will. But not looking like it's wanting to be a short today. And here is the close. You're above it. 5 seconds. I think that destroys the short. There is the opening bell. So if you took the short trade, I would go ahead and close it. But that's just my thinking. Maybe this drops and makes this a trap. That would be your last big hope. But I don't really put too much stock in 5-minute candles as traps either. Well, let's get the SPY up since we're open. So we just opened up for the day. And you're pushing higher on the open. There you go. Bitcoin's coming in here to smoke the shorts. Doesn't look like it's going to give us that pullback today. You are also currently trading above hourly res. This candle is the closing price of the hourly candle. So as long as you're above this candle's close, you are above intraday resistance. If it stalls out here, fails, maybe later on in the day, you could potentially look for the short. But if you do look for the short, it's just for the pullback. You're not looking for downside continuation, or you're not waiting for a fresh daily low to take profits. You're just waiting for a pullback into this region, or even possibly 17,000, because it's a big figure number. $17,000 Bitcoin is cheap Bitcoin to some people. You know what I mean? Gives them the opportunity to own a whole Bitcoin for cheaper, waiting for the next $60,000 Bitcoin. That will take a few years to do, though. if it even does it again. That has been the trend in, past market data with Bitcoin, is every time it gets a halving, it has a nice big bull market. People are going to say that the halving is priced in this time, but they said that last time too, probably the time before that as well. You're always going to have your naysayers and doubters, and then they turn around and become bulls again when Bitcoin starts ripping faces off. Meanwhile, smart money investors are buying it when it's cheap, not expensive. And then the whole cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. Bitcoin still has a lot of demand in it. Let me pull up a Glassnode because something happened yesterday. We had our first above 50% tick on the accumulation trend score. So a lot of people bought into this run lower yesterday. A lot of people did. Expecting it, to be the low. The low of the bear market. And only time will tell if that is the case or not. But yeah, if you want to be a buyer, I think you should be a buyer down here. But let's see if we can get a support test first. You feel me? If you smell what the rock is cooking. So I'm going to pull this over here. You can see it. Look at that. Above 0.97. Yesterday it was 0.74. All of this is not accumulation. When it starts to get brighter, closer to 1, that means accumulation. And you almost got a 90. Well, it's, if you average it, it's closer to 97 than 98, but still 97. Somebody's buying. And that's the first time you've gotten anything that even remotely looks close to that since here. So all of these people that bought were most likely liquidated here, right? Most likely. Because they probably had their stops, if they purchased here, under the June low. Which on the line chart, I don't think it is the June low, is it? On the line chart, I think it made a fresh low already. Yeah, there. See it? That little dip right there. Boom, boom. So that took out that swing low, but the line chart is calculated on candle closes, not wicks. But wicks are important because they are targets for liquidity. That's what we look for. So yeah, you've liquidated the bear market low. If you want to be a buyer, you can do so. Just make sure you're investing with an amount of money you don't care to lose. Because if more firms start taking the dump, Bitcoin will go much lower. But yeah, so anybody that was accumulating here has been stopped out more than likely there, even if you go by whatever metric you use, whether you use the line or candlesticks. That was a fresh 2022 low, and it was also a fresh 2-year low. To some people, that's an attractive place to buy. And then it also helps that you got a nice number there, as well as core inflation there. It's still lower than the previous month. And that has been going higher. That's why the market has been doing like mixed signals on these CPI numbers. I think you're going to see that pretty much be the low. As far as the S&P 500 and all that stuff, it's already probably made its low for the time being over here. But we do know that in past massive bear markets, like the 2008 market cycle, after you made a fresh bear market low, you traded up and sideways for 8 or 9 weeks. So since making this fresh bear market low, we are 4 weeks into this. So weekly resistance is going to be very important for the bulls to get above. So Bitcoin is starting to, well, not roll over here, but it is struggling a little bit up there. If you did take that short, that is what you want to see. Remember, you're taking profits in here, in this area. Move your stop to break even after you take profits, because you could still make a fresh daily high before rolling over. It doesn't look like it wants to, so we'll see how it plays out. But let's go over here to the 08 bear market, because people have been looking at this fractal. I don't use fractals, but just to give you an idea of how long something like this can take, because people are expecting this move to happen every single day. It's not how price action works. There is your fresh bear market low in the 08 cycle, and then count the weeks before you broke this low. On this week right there is when you took out that low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you did it on the 9th week. So if that fractal was to play out, you'd be looking for this to trade sideways and then start to roll over around the 9th week. But I don't believe in fractal price action. I just don't. Price is traded by things that are going on in the marketplace now, not what happened 20 years ago, give or take a few years. Oh, goodness gracious. Heath, you are leery about leaving money on exchange in order to catch that Bitcoin buy. I'm not quite understand. No, I'm leery about keeping my net worth on exchange, right? I don't care. I do keep money on exchange. It's just a small portion. It's trading capital only. So that way, if I lose it, I am not getting killed. So many people put all of their money on exchange because they're trying to grow their whole lump sum. They want to get rich today so they can quit their job tomorrow. And by doing that, they run into trouble. If you add up how many people has lost all of their money because of cryptocurrency shutting down, it's probably way over the amount of people who have actually became crypto millionaires, right? A lot of people lost a lot of money on this move lower. And if FTX has stopped withdrawals, then whatever money you have on exchange is not yours anymore. And any exchange can do that because they're not regulated by the federal government. So many crypto exchanges. Would you enter SPX calls for a quick scalp? I wouldn't. Not today. You're bullish on the day. You're bullish on the day. So, I mean, I can't buy it. You're coming into resistance. And that's after a very big move already. So the only other trade would be to short it. Well, I don't like shorting bullish markets either. This market today is bullish, very bullish. There's not a trade to take on SPX. Not yet. You need a pullback. So you could potentially watch 38.26 for potential bullish entries. All right. That's old daily resistance. Bitcoin doesn't have a daily level because yesterday's open is all the way up here. And then this is your lowest support, I think. It is right there. So there isn't a daily technical level to trade on Bitcoin. The only thing that people are taking shorts based off of is yesterday's low or intraday supply. Those technical levels don't work as good as your bigger levels. So if I was looking to be bullish on risk, I would watch how price acts around 38.26. And if it shows me the willingness to hold as support, then I could potentially look for calls there and take profits roughly up in here, maybe early next week, 39.11. Because you're bullish on the week now also. You're bullish on the week, you're bullish on the day, you're bullish on the 3-day. I mean, you're bullish. Really bullish. You took out the weekly high right there. You do not want to try to short in front of that. This is the monthly high. So if I was looking to get short, I would need to wait until all the way up there. And I definitely wouldn't do it if it gets there today either. That's too much bullish momentum. The trade that we were looking for on Bitcoin didn't play out. It just didn't. So when the trade doesn't play out, you can't just chase price and hope to make money. You're going to lose money if you do that. Right? You're going to lose money. The only trade there was is shorting the high of day. And if you took that trade, you're doing it on a very bullish day based on macro fundamentals. And there is no technical level here outside of this. And there's the yearly low as well. As yesterday took out the yearly low and then bounced. So there's the yearly low. So it is that is the technical level that people are taking the short on. But they're still not as good of levels as daily opens and closes. Now, that's not to say that a short scalp here won't work. I mean, as of right now, if you've taken the short, you got an opportunity to enter it again right there. So you've gotten 2 opportunities to enter this short after the daily high was made. So, I mean, that's the only trade. I don't like it. I'm not taking it. I would rather be the buyer down here. So if it takes a couple days for it to get back down here, I will wait. I will wait on daily support to be a buyer. You just got to be patient. There's not a trade to take on the SPX where it currently is. Can I check USD Mexican peso? Absolutely. Let's go look at it. So I don't know what's up with this. I don't know how the Mexican peso was stronger than the dollar for the last year. Because if we look at the year-to-date chart on the USD Mexican peso, you're bearish on the year. Here's your yearly open on the USD MXN, right? That's your yearly open. You're bearish on the year. You've been bearish on the year, save this stuff here and this stuff here. But the dollar was uber bullish in the same amount of time. If you compare the DXY year-to-date chart, bullish. But the USD Mexican has not been bullish. So that means that the Mexican peso has been stronger than the dollar, even though the dollar was that uber bullish. It doesn't make no sense. It just doesn't, because it takes 19 pesos to make $1. You know what I mean? But it has been stronger. For whatever reason, this probably has something to do with some kind of fundamentals. But you're breaking down right now. Would I look for shorts down there? Absolutely not. Could I be a buyer? No. No, because if this thing has been stronger than the dollar while the dollar's been bullish, I definitely don't think it's going to be stronger than the dollar when the dollar's bearish. Something could happen and change that, so maybe you could be a buyer here. Let's go look at the longer term thing. Yeah, you're getting ready to liquidate or already have liquidated a very big swing low. Not quite a fresh 2-year low, but almost. Well, no, it's a fresh yearly low. This happened this year. So maybe you could be a buyer on this asset now. Yeah, you could potentially be a buyer on this asset now. There's the wick there. He clearly traded under it. Yeah, I mean, I don't see no reason wrong with it. I mean, if you're just taking it based on that, the liquidation break, you've done it. At worst case scenario, you could probably get a balance up to 1950 from here to there. That could be a profitable trade. Watch how hourly candles close in relationship to this price. 19.4131.6. If you start closing hourlies under it, leave it alone, because it's not a liquidation break play. It's a downside continuation play. Then your next bearish target is going to be, well, here. All right. So, yeah, I mean, technically speaking, there's a technical reason to get long on this asset right now. So let's do this. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Yeah. You start closing hourly candles under it, like I said, you definitely want to leave it alone. All right, let's pull it back up over here. USD So is it worth the risk to take the trade based solely on this? I think it is. All right. But we want to get that, mark that level again here. So we'll take it. We'll take it. I don't know how to measure this. All right, so let's do this. You got 257 pips there, so you would set this up like this. Stop loss would be 257 pips, right? And you only want to risk 1% on the trade to see if you're going to be right or not. 257 pips, you're looking to risk 1% to say, I think this is going to be the low. All right. Take profit, like I said earlier, it would be up in here. So we'll just do that. Oh, and it's not quite 257 pips. We got to move it lower. You might want to account for the spread there as well. The spread on Oanda is 55 pips wide. So you'd probably want to get this stop loss 55 pips lower than this low. Like that. That means I'm risking almost 2% on this trade. But you can fix that by just lowering your position size here by selling. selling some of this stuff you just bought. Like, that's 4.5 lots almost. You could sell one lot, and that would put you roughly at around 1% loss on this, right? Do you want to take it now? I don't know if you should. I mean, it's trading with the dollar. So watch hourly closes here. You don't want to see an hourly close under that. If you get it, then that means it's likely going to continue. Because remember, trending markets tend to continue, right? You don't see, like, you can see this trend, right? So you're trying to call the bottom of a trend. It's not the best strategy in the world. You're already coming back down into that. So just give it some time to see where it closes. And then watch that price as potential support moving forward. All right. Yeah. I can afford that risk simply because that USD JPY trade is breaking down today. Big time. That looks lovely. Freaking lovely. There's the entry on it. Right there. And I already took 2 or 3 lots of profit off of this trade on this day here. So yesterday we were going to adjust this trade if it didn't close below daily support. Yesterday we got that close. We were watching this support price right there, and we wanted to see the close below it. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Yesterday it closed back above it, but it still maintained below resistance here. And that, to be fair, was an absolute phenomenal short entry today. There's your wick into resistance. Boop. So you could have taken that short today. Boop. Right there. It happened during 5 o'clock, so a little bit after the London session. So yeah, I can risk to take that loss on the USD Mexican peso. This is looking good now, ain't it? Top tick that biatch. Let's get back over to Bitcoin because it's moving back to the upside. You're up 10.7% on Bitcoin today. You're pushing back above. So it's not looking like it wants to break down, is it? No, it's not. So, I mean, that's just, yeah, man. You're trying to short something that's very bullish, with very bullish news for overall risk markets. All right, let me read some of these questions and then we'll wrap it up. Let me go up. All right, I read that. Any entry on the specs? No entry there. I'm looking to short Matic at weekly open, also daily support. Thoughts? All right, so most of the crypto assets are going to trade with Bitcoin first and foremost. Most of them. So, with that being said, this is where they're looking for their short entry. Look what you've done on Matic this week. You took out this weekly low, and instead of getting downside continuation, you're pulling back. So I know this is based solely on today, because yesterday you were down here. Today you're back up here. Weekly open is also daily supply. So would I take this short? Maybe, but not today, because today you're very, very bullish and you have a lot of bullish momentum today. So what I would want to see is I would want to see this hold as resistance for at least a couple days, today and tomorrow. If it shows me the inability to close above it in the next few days, then you could potentially take the entry for the short. A daily close above that would have that whole trade scrapped, because if you close above that, the next area for potential upside would be one spot 2572. And Matic overall just isn't as bearish as Bitcoin, even with this terrible news. So you retraced all of this breakout. But I like the level. I'm not really keen on the timing, if you will. Right? I don't like the timing. I love the level. I love how you're finding these levels by yourself now, right? You're getting there. On a normal day, this would be a trade to take. On a very bullish, very good news day, no. Because you're trying to short a train. You're trying to call the top. You're trying to catch a falling knife. There's so many different cliches for what you're literally trying to do today. That's exactly why the cliche exists. You got to be patient. Watch how today closes here. Does it close above? Does it close below? If it closes below, then maybe you could watch for a retest of it to look for the short, but not today. This price action will liquidate so much leverage. It will, for sure. Yes, sir. If you get knocked off of YouTube, please continue in Discord. Why would you say that? Why would I get knocked off? Oh, I got you. The live stream. Well, I mean, we're already gone for 2.5 or an hour and 45 minutes. So there's not really much else to say. We didn't get a trade today. It's just unfortunate. It's just the way it is. But you know the level to watch, Film Garden. You're looking, because you're in the Discord. You're watching for that intraday resistance level. That's where I'd be looking for longs today. If it gets back down here, 1678.84. If we get back down there, I could potentially take a long. I cannot get long at the top of today because you're already up almost 11%. The move has already happened. This was what we should have been in, but there's no way to know that you wouldn't have liquidated the lows first, all right? Because it usually happens. It just didn't today. So there's really nothing to do. There might be some other stocks that we can look at. I'm sure Brian is in here and he's going to start naming some if he hasn't already. I miss a lot of comments when it gets really busy, so I apologize for that. But he was watching Warner Bros. Yesterday. Yeah, so we're waiting for liquidation of $9.38. There's nothing that says that has to happen. But yesterday we were trading down here. And I said, you could potentially be a buyer, but we would want to see this get liquidated first. And then we want to see support hold after the liquidation happens. There's that USD Mexican trade stopped out. You could see this is the area that we would want to be a buyer. If he went ahead and bought calls yesterday, then he's up today because it's getting a bounce. It's getting a bounce because overall risk is getting a bounce. If we look at the red chat over here, or the red watch list over here, these are tech plays and other plays. Everything's green. MicroStrategy's up 15%. Big move on the MSTR. Where did it bounce? Off of a technical level that we looked at yesterday. Because we looked at this yesterday. You bounced off of that intraday. Boom. And you're up big today, 15%. That would have been a nice trade. Yeah, it's just everything's, that's good news. And as long as you got good news, then you're not looking to be a seller. We were looking to be a seller if the news was bad and we got a liquidation of the daily high. Then we were going to be a seller. That didn't happen. We didn't get bad news and a liquidation of today's high. We got good news and a blast off way above today's high. So when that happens, you have to change up the plan. You can't just still go into it. Look at this. This thing is down 3% today. Man, that's a good trade. How many pips? That's yesterday. So today's high is there. So from the daily high to daily low, almost another 500 pip day. Jesus, I love this volatility. Absolutely love this volatility. We just missed the Bitcoin trade. There was an opportunity to get long here. I wouldn't have done it, but, there's your daily open right there. So you open up, you set the daily low in here, then you trade away from it. You come back in for a retest of the open. You held, boom. That was your proof of bounce right there. You could have taken the entry based off of this candle's high. As soon as you got above it, you buy it, stop there. Now, like I said, in normal conditions, when the news happens, a spike below the stops usually happens, and then you get the push. It just didn't happen today. Here's the open of this candle. You didn't even push below that. You just went straight up. There's the news. There's your wick lower, straight up. So today it just didn't happen. Just didn't happen. We were prepared to buy the low of day. Down below the low of day. Buy it, up it goes. It just didn't work today. That's trading. That's trading. John says he's in Coco. That was a pretty nasty storm. Yeah, it was. It was. I didn't lose power at all, but my internet is struggling. Bitcoin just liquidated the daily high. So anybody that got short this morning has been stopped out. Good morning, Heath. Wished I would have bought more Tesla right when the announcement came out. Could have got it at 179. Where could we expect to see a pullback to intraday? Let's go look at Tesla. Oof. Big pullback already happened. I would have been looking for a pullback of the open. You did not get it, right? You didn't get it. So that's where I would have been looking to be a buyer today, if I was looking to be a buyer. We looked at this a couple days ago. We broke down below all of our massive technical levels. Here is your liquidation wick right there. So that is going probably to be a monthly low. It is. See, there's your monthly low. The next monthly low is all the way down here. Not there. Not there. There. So now that you've liquidated that, all these lows there, it's normal to see a bounce, and you're getting it already. And you can see how that volatility came in here. Boom. Look at that retest. Look at that retest. I mean, that's perfect. That's where you should have been a buyer. Any more pulls backs to there? Yeah, I could see myself picking up a few Tesla shares. I don't think you're going to see it, though, because everything is bullish today. That's where you should have bought it, bro. That's the exact same thing we just tried on USD Mexican peso. The exact same thing. So it worked on Tesla, but it didn't work for my trade. See? So this thing is weird. It's trading very, very strange. Very strange. I don't see a technical setup on it if it continues to close lower. I wouldn't even mess with it. For future shorts, you would want to see a retest of this or this, right? This or this for potential short entries. But this has to have something to do with the overall economy in Mexico or some fundamental reason why this asset was stronger than the uber bullish dollar. Well, it's not really stronger, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like everything else. The dollar bullishness kept it down, but I mean, this thing is in an uptrend. But since April, it pulled back a little bit, but you're still, yeah, it's just weird. It's trading on its own merit. Amazon looks like a good long on the open. It's already moved up. You're up 10% on the day. Oh, the open on this is going to be there. I don't know, man. You're up big already on the day. The way you could have played that is hindsight, but you could have waited for the price to get it back above the open, right? You get the move lower, then just wait for it to get above that and buy it. Scalp it up to $95, $96. That's a $4 move. That's almost a $2 move. I don't think I'd mess with it. They this thing took a split not too long ago, so it's not as high in alpha stock as it used to be, but it's still up a few dollars on the day. You're up 10% on the day. So you can watch 92, 94 for a potential retest. But even if you do come back and retest this, you got all this pre-market stuff too, man. You can't keep that out. But yeah, if this holds that support, yeah, maybe moving forward, it becomes a decent place to be a buyer on Amazon. I'd say a lot of people are going to be looking to fade this bounce just based on the overall market structure. It looks very bearish, but I think this was the liquidation right here. With this news that we got, I think we're going to see higher risk prices. I don't think we're going to see all-time highs or anything like that, but I do believe you're going to see a lot of these things trade away from the current lows. It is a tradable event, but you just got to wait for a test of support. Yeah, right now the only thing that you have is that. So watch that price for potential longs. Might not be today, maybe it's a day or two away. Nothing just goes straight up or straight down. You will get pullbacks and entries and opportunities. Tether just froze FTX. Tether transactions on the blockchain. That's probably smart. Heath, what level would you enter? Yeah, I've read that. I wouldn't. Glad you're doing okay as well. Thank you. Yeah, you too. You too. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you got your electricity and everything. And then RB said the same thing. Tether just froze FTX. Tether MM. Maybe more bad news to come. Probably. Can you check on the levels on Solana for both short and long? All right, so Solana is not on it's on my watch list right now, but it's not for a long. Because Solana, look at FTT, up 145%. It's up 145% and it's literally went no freaking where. Jesus. My God, this thing is moving. Holy balls. There's no technical level to give you here. $22 was technical support. You broke that in spectacular fashion yesterday. So, I mean, this weekly candle is going to look like a monstrosity. Oh, look at that. That's the biggest weekly candle FTX has ever seen minus this one. Oh, man. How big of a down day was this one? Crypto's so volatile. 57%. 95%. So, yeah, this one's bigger. Much bigger. Yeah, there we go. That looks better, don't it? Yeah, as far as the percentage goes, this is the biggest weekly candle ever. 97% of its value. So probably it's going to be a short. Watch right there. Or fib that. Probably going to be a short. You can't really wait for that, though, can you? Jesus. The only reason it's up 150% or 140% is because it was worth $1.14 yesterday. I mean, you're back to ICO levels. But I mean, ask yourself before even taking a short, like, how much is there left on this? Well, there's 100%. I guess you could get 100% if you get it from here to there. You can still make 100% on the short. It's just you're taking it after all of this. But still, if it's going to zero, you want to be looking for shorts. 537 is where I'd look for that short. Or where does today close? Maybe not tomorrow, but the next day you could look for a retest of today's close and look for that short entry. If you think FTX isn't going to get bailed out, CZ's not going to bail him out. So it kind of looks like it's going to be up to a few other companies to do the bailout. Do they want to purchase FTX? They're probably looking at their books right now and just how bad is Sam in the debt, in the hole, right? Is it going to take billions and billions of dollars to get him out, bail him out? And do they have that? Does that fit in their risk management? If not, he's going to have to file bankruptcy. And then, yeah, the short trade is probably what you want to do. I don't think they could take it off open exchange. Maybe. Can you short it on other exchanges, or have everybody already gotten rid of it? I don't know. Maybe you can on Binance. But it got killed. Solana, a lot of people were saying FTX owns a lot of Solana, or Solana was tied into it. So this is another one that could potentially be worthless in the future. I mean, if you just look at the chart, it looks worthless already. Like, there's log. On a log scale, you're under that. You're cheaper than it's ever been on this exchange. Binance has more data. So yeah, it's still got, like I said, it doesn't matter if the asset, it doesn't matter how much it's worth. It can still always lose 100% of its value. That's all you can ever make to the short side is 100%. So I think I would probably, based on that news, be more of a seller of Solana than a buyer of Solana. But if you want to buy it, watch 1405 moving forward. That is daily support. If you close a daily under it, leave it alone because it's going to go lower. But if you, like tomorrow, if you come back in for a retest of this price, you could look for a long scalp, but you are definitely buying it in a downtrend. You are definitely trying to pick a bottom. But that is it will be a big technical level moving forward. Whether it holds or not, that's a separate issue entirely. So hopefully that helps. Do you already have your buy order in waiting for that pullback? No, I do not. No, I do not. I will trade it as it happens if it happens. There's something bigger going on here. There's a macro fundamental reason why Bitcoin can still go lower, and that is FTX files bankruptcy. Like that could, and like I said, it may take a week or so, but eventually I'm sure there's going to be an article that hits Twitter like a wild brush fire in the hot summer evening about how some other exchange is going to go down. And then how much Bitcoin does that exchange hold, right? Which, if that's the case, that exchange could right now be liquidating already before the news happens. So, no, I'm not just going to stick a random buy limit out there and hope it sticks, right? I will watch how price action acts around that resistance, because resistance is resistance. And sometimes resistance will act as support, but it is not support. It's just resistance, right? It's just resistance. So I will watch and see how price acts there when it gets there. If it looks like it's trying to hold as support, then I might be able to take the buy. Still counter trend, and there's still tons of bad news that can happen. But, you know, it's very bullish today, and the news that we got is bullish for risk. So I'm willing to risk $1 to see if I can make 2. But no, it's not just sitting there. Ulysses says 16,784. Yep, that is the price on Coinbase's exchange. On Bitget, that price is 16,765. 16,765. Is Michael Saylor doubling down? Probably. I don't know. I can't tell you what Michael Saylor's doing, other than he is losing a shitload of money right now, because I think his cost basis is well above 20 G's. And I think he had almost up a $5 billion worth of Bitcoin at one point. Is he doubling down? It's a possibility. You'll have to ask him. Let's go see what he's doing. But what he says he's doing on Twitter and what he actually does are two different things. $35 is the asset. So it sounds like it. 35 minutes ago, Bitcoin is the asset. But if he is selling his Bitcoins, he would need bag holders. If it has counterparty risk, it's not money Bitcoin. I doubt he's selling, dude. I mean, he is a Bitcoin maximalist. Elect Bitcoin. He's a useless follow as far as I'm concerned. But Bitcoin is for all, man. Yeah, it sounds like it. Whether he is or not, I don't know. I'm not looking at the SEC filings. But if he does buy a lot more Bitcoin, then that's where you would find out. He probably is. I'm bullish Bitcoin too, but I'm not a maximalist. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm buying it just because I want to own as much of it as I possibly can. But most of my Bitcoin that I own has came from trading wins, right? So the amount of money that I actually have in it compared to what I think is a decent risk for Bitcoin is well above now at this point. And I'm not selling mine. I might close my girl's position down on this bounce, but I'm not selling mine. Let's just see how this plays out in the days to come, guys. There's always a trading opportunity. Every single day almost on Bitcoin, there's a trading opportunity, right? When we make a daily support, we will watch that moving forward. You do have a daily support in here, right there, right now. Right now, right here, right now. You have a daily support. So this will be the price moving forward for bullish entries. Will you ever even get back down there? Not if everybody's buying it, but you will have another bearish day somewhere in this timeline, and then you can look to be a buyer. You might not catch the ultimate low, but you will be able to get a chance to buy it under 20 grand. I don't see it getting back above 20 grand in any time this week. So that's all we can do as investors. We can find technical levels and trade them. I ain't got time to go over all of those, Brian. Give me two that you want to check the most, please. I got to wrap this up. I've been going for over 2 hours. I can't go through 27 assets. Long sell, put, TLT, XLY, XLK, IYT, MPW, URA, WBD, short sell, call, USO. Yeah, let's go look at USO because something happened here, or we were looking for it to happen. Yeah, you're back to bearish on the month, which is a good sign for your short USO play. Everybody's bullish oil. We're not. We were looking for the short on oil, and oil short has so far worked out great. All right. Boom. That's where we were looking for the short. It worked out pretty damn good. But now it's breaking back down. You might get another bounce around 83.74 because of daily support there, but I would expect that to be sold into again. I think this thing is going lower. Right there's your yearly opening range. You almost got there here. That's why you bounced. People front running yearly open. That's why you bounced. But you can see that the cost basis isn't doing much. You're not getting any upside. You're now starting to build in a range here. But that was the short entry right there, 93.62. And you can see how it played out beautifully as predicted. As predicted. So the short trade on USO has been working. Maybe the next price will be after gap fill, but I mean, look at that monthly chart one more time. Yeah, I mean, you're going to bounce here as well because that's monthly demand. So people are going to be looking to take bullish entries there. Next bearish target, though, is all the way down there if it does continue to be bearish. It's just building in that range. Bull trap right there. So watch 74.08 for potential short entries. If you get above that, I think you could look 76.59. I doubt you will get above that, though. You might get another lower high, but something like that, right? So look for this area to be the high. Your bearish target right there from there. So if you do get the gap fill, 74.48 short, you could target 70.72. All right. XLK, that's tech. I wouldn't be short tech right now. Oh, you're selling puts, so you're not short. Yeah, I think you're selling. I think your put selling is going to work out just fine. Yeah, so this is going to be support moving forward. I mean, if you ever even get back down there, you're probably coming into an area where you could watch for potential support. I wouldn't watch for it now. This actually could act as resistance. So look for the retest of 122.99 for potential long entries there. That's demand. See if you can get it back up to the top of the range. 122-ish up to 130 on XLK. I think you could sell this. It's bullish right now. So might have to wait for the actual drop. But I'd take a short trade on that. Oh, it's already played out. Fucking duck. Already played out. There was the retest of it. So for today's session, I would not want to see it get back above 182.47. Yeah, that's the daily open. So there might be a trade right here on CVX. Give me 1 second. Let's pull up a month out. Why are you not showing me prices? My internet sucks. I wish I could get some prices here. Here they come, slowly but surely. 182.41 for the short. This asset has been very bullish in the past. So, but with today's news, I think you can look for it to continue to roll over 182.41. 182.50 puts are they're in the money currently. So maybe get the strike just out of the money. 180 or 177.50. But I would buy them out a lot farther than 15 days. At least a month. Right here. This might be like 177.50s. Yeah, I mean, you can see like these ones that are deep in the money, they're paying big. Like that's a massive gain on something. If you pay $4.10 for a contract and then a month later the prices drop really, really hard on it, you're gonna make a lot of money. Lots of money. So what do we see here though? Let's get the range up for last week. So the low is 177.26. Yeah, I hate these $2.50 wide calls and puts, but it is what it is. So the 177.56 is the weekly low. I don't think I would buy it that far out of the money. I would just get it real close to at the money, and then you want to watch it on a technical basis to see if that resistance does indeed hold. Right there. That's as far as I would want to see it go up. There's not really anything that I like better than that price. So you can see that just down to the weekly low is right there. And it's 177. So that's only a $4 move. It might not play out this week because tomorrow's Friday. It may play out the next week or something. But I think you're going to have an opportunity on this moving forward, right? In a couple days. Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow or the next day. But yeah. Moved cash to exchange to buy spot over weekend. Damn you, CPI. Yeah, it sucks. KDA. Could you look at it? Yeah. Is that a crypto or a stock? Definitely not a stock. KDA USD. Yeah, it's a stock. It's getting creamed as well. You have got, I mean, that's massive continuation lower. There is no technical level for me to give you. Yeah, you've gotten massive continuation to the downside. So unfortunately, there's nothing I can give you here except for that daily support. I mean, but people are going to jump all over this thing short. You could watch this price to see if you test it for support. It's a buck. So getting up to there would be a 100% move if it happens. That's the only price I can give you. That's the only price I can give you. And wherever, if you want to be a seller, then wherever today closes, you will watch that price moving forward for potential sell entries. All right. That I can't tell you what that price will be until it happens. Finally home for the live stream and not at work because of this hurricane. Nice. Watching it on the big screen is way better because I can read the numbers. Better on my mobile. Yeah, it is. Definitely better than on mobile. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll be back Tuesday morning for the public live stream. We'll have more data. We'll be looking for more trades then. Thank you all so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. You guys make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.